Well, I'm going on a Starfort tour with you. Yeah, I'm going on a Starfort tour with you. Yeah, I'm gonna wonder what these Starforts do. Chances are that I'm just as confused as you. Confused as you. I'm as confused as you. That's what confused folks do. Confused as
Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Welcome. Today we find ourselves here in France. Francais, of which the language I know virtually none of, nor do I pretend. So if when I butcher these words, well, just know that I know, and therefore your criticism will not hurt me. This shirt may not protect me from my complete indifference to outside opinion. It will. I don't know what kind of intro that was, but there it is. This place. Oh, Caso Sauvé seems like it would be pronounced to my admittedly and already declaredly terribly inadequate understanding of the language. Yet there we are. You can see the spelling here on the screen if you don't understand what I've said. And we're here because we are chasing schnaffets. Not that they run. They do disappear though, especially here in France. We learned last time they have a nasty habit of disappearing. But here, it hasn't disappeared yet. The one I am talking about. And this one is right there. It's a little guy. Just a little guy. And where is Caso Sauvé? It is in the southwest of France. The population is merely a few hundred people. One of the commune, and we are here because of the chateau, otherwise known as the castle. Now, I don't believe that these are castles, nor do I believe that they are Starforts. But we'll go with it. Amazing how lost you can get, just in general in life, but also here. And there it is. Let the fanfare begin. And just look at it. Just look at it. Tucked away in this here little forest here. Like I said, it's a little guy. It looks like its walls have been breached on one end, but it's got the telltale markings of what we've come to expect as a Starfort. And will they not let me get close to it? Won't. Unbelievable. How rude. And why, I wonder. What is this, some sort of private residence? This one obviously not much of a looker. Not much to be seen. Here, we get on this road. Maybe we can catch a glimpse through the tree. And a glimpse indeed. Aha! We see the archway. And I suppose we'll have to settle for that. As far as this sort of footage goes. This beautiful clearing. Alright, we'll leave it alone. We are on the inside of, at least in the courtyard of the castle. Henry V apparently stayed in this room. I've learned they hold weddings here. See? I learned that from this picture. And remarkable architecture. A little bit outside of the old beaten path. And a very cool place. The same type of everything. This one's got some funky lights on it. And some little basement windows lurking down there past this. And a very cool place. As usual. Griffin tiles, eh? Interesting. You know, everywhere you go, it's just the same friggin' logos. Here's a picture from back in the day, right in front of the fireplace like that. Look at behind her, the little guy there. The little cute little guy we was talking about. Got the 3 doorways as usual. Sure, there's a basement. There's not too much about this place online. That's where we're at. And there's space in all of its realness. You know, it's interesting. They tell us that we're zooming through space. Millions of miles an hour. No exaggeration. And we travel 1 billion miles a year. Our little Earth does. This is what we're told, of course. Yet the stars are the same, predictably the same, every night. And in fact, that's how they can tell, and they can tell you what the sky looked like at any night, all throughout given history. But if we're moving, and the stars are moving, I just don't know how that's possible. I really don't. Maybe you might can help me out with that, but I'm guessing that you probably can't either. It's just one of those magic mysteries, we're told. I love space. I love being lied to. It's so, like, in vogue to be lied to all the time. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's doing it. Here we go to a place known for its healing. Amélie-les-Bains-Palalda. Named such after the wife of King Felipe, we're told. And this one is a classic shuriken style. In fact, looking like a shuriken dropped by a wayward Asian god. Right on the top of this hill, as if it were sucking something out. And this one is in a town of about 5,000, and this place very famous for its sulfur springs, and Roman baths, and military hospital. And they keep this place very pristine and very snobby, I'm told, to preserve life for the precious tourist commodity that is so necessary for their thriving economy in this little town of about 5,000. And of course, this is all based on very limited understanding of these places. This is not a deep dive by any account. It's just a little bit of a backstory as to what I understand about this place. But Fort Les Bains here is on a hill, as you can tell, and I find it difficult to ascertain why this would be. What good would it do? Because as you can see, the size of it, it's not really big enough to hold that many people. So even if you were under attack and the whole town ran up here, you'd be hard-pressed to find a place to stay. And this part on the top looks cheaply made and like much different than this part here. Even the wall thick. So I think this was added on later and nothing to do with the original structure. That's what it looks like to me. And you can see this layers and layers and layers. This thing, built terraced and stacked. So what its true purpose is, you and I can only recklessly speculate. Which we will do, and what we do, and will continue to do. But man, look at these views. God, what a gorgeous place. Really is. France, you're a land of miracles and magic, and it's a shame what's been going on there. And I know why now. I mean, I understand why you would be the focus of much world domination, because you got a lot to offer. Who wouldn't want to pluck the shiniest jewel if you could, you know what I mean? And I mean that in all seriousness and with all due respect. Keep fighting that good fight, Frenchies, even though you're a little behind the 8-ball on that one. I guess I can't judge you. Look at our leaders. But Macron, yeesh, that guy's a piece of work. He might be next to Trudeau, possibly. Oh man, actually, I don't know. There's a lot of really crappy world leaders right now. But they're in the same club as Ursula, Schultz. Yeah, you guys get real winners right now. And by that, I mean absolute losers. And so do we. And in fact, our losers are best friends. Our losers here and your losers there. They hang out. And they say lofty things, and they have no clue what's going on anywhere. They don't even know what's going on in their own country. They can't even find their own pulse of their own people. They actually believe their own propaganda, which is a terrible way to live. If you're lying and then believing it, like, damn, that's a good way to find yourself on the wrong side of just about everything when it comes to reality. But there they are, and here we are, exploring and laughing at those lies as much as we want to cry about what they're doing to our people. Interestingly modern, kind of, as far as the roof goes. I just noticed they all have the same exact color of a roof. I wonder if it's some sort of a city ordinance that favors this type of tile. But that's neither here nor there, Jack. And I did wander around here in the old world areas just to see what I could see. And of course, it's just chock full of strange little foundational, multi-level homes and various types of architecture that, look like they've just been added on over time. And I'll let you look through some of these here. You can get a feel for the old place. Very colorful and a very strange blend of modern mixed with ancient. I imagine this is pretty common in many of these little communes where you have so many repurposed things built around very ancient, pre-existing structures. Sort of like much of the earth, but very obvious and almost done in a way where there's no continuity. Oh my. It's almost as if there were different eras of people. There's no chain of custody. I guess the chain is broken is what I mean. And here you have what looks to be like the same type of shape as we would find in an American church of this era. The balcony up here, the wrought iron railing, the same curved ceiling, the same rose window with stained glass, and something obviously missing here. And the same, of course, clock, the shape, structure, the underground area. It's the same everywhere we go. Leading me to believe, as many others do, of this looking just like a Starfort in sort of its geometric precision, unbeknownst to our world-weary travelers. Well, most of them anyway. Let me go back for another look real quick. Oh, heck yeah, dude, what a babe, dude. And sort of a timeless little area. Wow, that is an incredibly gorgeous view. They call it a river. You know what I think. This is a canal. Built by the angels, perhaps. I don't know. Whoever built this place dug these canals everywhere. What the hell is that? Doesn't look like a normal rock in water, doesn't it? But whatever. Always these little pockets of elevation. And just look at that. Brick underneath the stucco. Just as we see everywhere. I feel like a broken record. Maybe I am a broken record. Have you ever thought about that, Jim? Right there in the center of the town. Center of this little loop anyway. The stuff. And I wonder if these waters really are his healing, as they say, rheumatism and things like that, even asthma. I would imagine that this part of the city would be the most, based on what I'm seeing here. Aha, here we are. Here's the track. I call the track, right? Long. Oh, look, it actually has a track right in it. I thought this was going to be the oval over here, because it's, of course, right by the water, as we always see, but perhaps that's the oval. It means there'll be a train intersection nearby, from what I understand of this world. And if I were a train, where would I be? Hey, what's up, little sheeps? You guys ready for the new variant? So easily sidetracked. Is that the train? But yeah, if there's an interesting place in town to explore, no doubt it's right in there, due to the surrounding areas being built on such geometrical similar lines. And that is, of course, my professional diagnosis, which we can now explore using the gift of helium and video cam, he said with a sly wink. And here we are inside. Hi, Dad. Whoa, Grandpa disappeared, dude. Fitty apogee, pedigree. Poof. Who else wants some? Huh? How about you, random laundry? And if you're looking for normalcy, if you're looking for a good place of understanding, where everything makes sense around you, this is not the place you want to be. But if the real world feels to you more like Toontown, then, oh wait, you two. Pedigree, apogee, epigee, poof. Soon we'll make enough of them disappear that we can roll in and buy their properties for a penny on the dollar for our ancestors to live forever. Oh, wait, it sounds like one of those. What are they called? Oh, the elites. The Elites, right. Worshippers of El, Molochian, something. And maybe they're bootleg Molochians, you know, they got Jack Mormons. Maybe. But somewhere in that hodgepodge of villainry, there exists a religion, and it's not my religion, and it's not yours either. I don't know you, but I'm willing to bet. This has been maybe I've said too much already for this little Starfort tour. Maybe I've gone a little off me rocker. Well, I kind of don't know what to do. Come on, Lisa, please let me in. I'm sorry. At least throw me a magazine. Up too late. You already entered it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be here all week, folks. The same can't be said for those old people, though. They won't be here ever. Shh. He said, flying away into night, or into the day, or into the whatever time of whatever. Ooh. One more stop here in France, and not that this is not, we'll be back, but just temporarily. And this is the nearby Valbourg. I think I'm saying that right. And right away, you get the little same, interestingly similar geometric shape in the downtown area, complete here with monument in the center, fountain in the middle of what looks like an old town square, and here's the cathedral. Now, if I remember accurately, which is, there's a strong chance I don't, I couldn't actually find a Starfort here. I'm told there is one, but I couldn't find it. So still, the area seemed cool enough to sort of pop in and, you know, say what's up to the boys, to lurk the streets a little bit and make people's grandparents disappear, perhaps. And look at that old beauty. Yep, that's what I'm here for right there. What it's looking at here. This one looks very modernized, but I'll imagine years and years ago, it looked nothing like nothing. If I remember right, this is one of Napoleon's gentlemen standing up here, forever in stone. Yeah, I do read books, so like, get off my butt. There's a pretty unique little area around here, if I can recall, that the very guarded French government will not allow us to look at due to its military nature. Ah, here we go. I'm assuming it's military. And I'm assuming that because we have the track here, a dead giveaway, and of course it's all blurry, but just look at some of the barely visible patterns on the ground, start to get the idea that something's a little fucky. I mean, it's probably just a military area, then they just automatically block them off, but still, we can be suspicious if we want to. Maybe it's as close as we can get, perhaps? Maybe? I don't know, maybe we could sort of strafe here in the side off that way. But the more you block something, the more I want to see it. That's weird. Well, fine, be cagey all you want. Next here, we take a little tour of, again, forgive my pronunciation if I get these wrong, but Orbitello, I believe this is pronounced. It is in Tuscany, in one of the most wonderful positions on a thin strip of land in the center of a lagoon called an isthmus. We are told it is a part of a protected nature reserve, one of the most uncontaminated areas of natural beauty in Tuscany, which says a lot. And this lagoon consists of basically reclaimed marshland. You can see here of Orbitello sits on the little narrow peninsula that runs between these two inside this giant Wu-Tang Clan logo. It's inverted. Now, historians will tell you this is an ancient Etruscan settlement founded in the 8th century, before coming into control the Romans in 280 BC. Much desired conquest, also, as you can tell, not only by Italian nobility, but also by foreign powers. In the Middle Ages, at some point, it was owned by the Aldobrandeschi family. I don't know. It was captured a few times, but historians also tell you that very little is known of the early history of it, as the town has been plundered in 1455. Conveniently, the archives were destroyed. So thousands of years, until a few hundred years ago, it was taken over and developed into a heavily fortified naval base by the Spaniards, and they are the ones who made it into a Starfort. Of course, allegedly. Mining of pyrites, fish processing plants, these things contributed to the wealth of the area, especially the overabundance of fish, causing a specialization in fish dishes. There are, of course, many areas of historical interest around the town, starting with the ancient city walls, built in the beginning of the 5th century BC from large, impressive stone blocks. Italy still holding onto the crown of the most unimaginative and shitty graffiti of all time. What's up, y'all? Hands in the air if you worship demons. They say that the Duomo di Santa Maria Assurita was resurrected, or restructured, in 1375 over the top of an original Etruscan temple. I don't know why they would do that. And of course, there's also a floating I shouldn't say floating, but it's a free-standing out in the water there. Let's see if I can find one. The Windmill. Looks like we can go check her out. See for ourselves. And right away, as I would expect here, you're just bombarded with old world wonders. Or at least the remnants. It's forever fascinating to me, being from a place that has very little visible or acknowledged, let's say, historical. To be living in a land where you literally can't throw a stone without hitting something of very dubious origin seems bewildering. I don't know, but I hope we're not going alone. I'll strike that from the record. And I don't see yet. I know it exists. It's almost as if you can see in the water here shape of these. They're like lower levels here. You see these? Lower levels. That looks like one. That would fill out the form more. Fill out the shape more than it currently is. Well, to be perfectly honest, it looks a little flooded. But I'm trying to catch a glimpse of these here walls so I can admire them. Somewhere out here in this lagoon is a small rustic windmill, which is the only one remaining from the original 9 they built in the lagoon. Were told to use the power of the water to grind wheat, which then they shipped back to the mainland in boats. Building a windmill out there that's water powered just seems so peaceful. It's such a very picture things like that. The world being much quieter. Not that I don't like noise. I mean more quiet as in the amount of different frequencies and channels, signals being blasted through the air at all times must be disorienting to most life forms. And it's probably disorienting to many life forms that have no idea it's even happening, since many of them are non-detectable by our various sensory apparatuses. I mean insects and various animals and plants. And us. The tools are all here. The forces, the motion, everything we need is all here. We didn't need to plug things in. Just like the technology unlocked Wi-Fi from dial-up, it was always here. We just didn't have the right sensing equipment, right? The Wi-Fi was always a possibility. We had to invent, obviously, the devices eventually that made it happen. Same kind of concept in my brain. Well, I can't really seem to get close to these walls here. I mean, this spot right here is pretty unmistakable. What you're gonna see. It's time for a wall. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, that's what's up. Looking substantialer than hell. When I'm told, this place is rather catering to tourists. Hold your breath. Wee. As in weird. Our next stop here is Weisenberg. Or Weisenberg. However you might say it. This is a charming fortified town. And it's a manufacturing center, actually. Founded in the 9th century on a Roman site, it was a free imperial city before it passed to Bavaria. That's your usual assortment of Gothic churches and things of that nature. Cobblestone streets, quaint architecture, stuff like that. And unmistakably, you have a Starfort. A fine example. One of the cleanest we've seen yet. Plenty of little drone people have helped to include this remarkable building. And again, we see the usual array of earth on top, the moat surrounding, leading me, of course, to believe that this was, as I've stated time and time again, water plant processor. That's just my take. Ooh, in wintertime. Perfect. Really is. Like a big snowflake. Town only has a few thousand people in it. You wonder, something like this. Well, I mean, I don't wonder. But some people do. What a beauty. Rather stripped down, really. Like, I mean, it's a tiny little place, actually. For a Starfort. Oh, Starfort? That's not part of it. Check this out. Beautiful town. God. I'd imagine anything bad happening here. But it do be. Fortunately, when the fires of human hatred have been stoked to the extreme level by the outside forces of the scene, takes a long time to undo it. This must be... Wait a second. Is this a city? Hold on a sec. Oh, would you look at that? So this is the only side that has water? That's interesting. Seems like it should have gone all around it at some point, rather than just here. The canal goes underground. There's your railroad track. So where it crosses the canal should be somewhere around here. There you'll find, along that line, interesting place, and just remarkable. The battery in the corner here, the harvester, and the deforestation of all the immediate trees. Probably to keep warm, since you guys allowed America to bomb your pipeline. Your own ally, your own friends. What idiots are in charge of these places? But not my problem. I mean, yet. It will be. Our next stop is Città di Castello. Città di Castello is a charming town located in the province of Perugia in the Umbria region, with its rich history and medieval architecture and cultural heritage. It offers a unique and authentic Italian experience should one visit. The town's history dates back to... There's evidence of Etruscan settlements in the area. During the Roman era, it was an important center along the Via Flaminia, an ancient Roman road, if you hadn't guessed, which connected Rome to Rimini. In the Middle Ages, it became a free commune and flourished under the rule of various noble houses, and later was part of the Papal States until the unification of Italy. And, of course, the history, at least a very cursory overview, is very similar to what we often find in these small towns. About 40,000 people live here. The town occupies the site of ancient Tifernum Tiberinum, which was devastated by Totila the Goth, and there are many amazing old world buildings here. Still, hardly. This footage is from 2012. Let's zoom it up a little bit. There we go. A little more clarity. And since we are pursuing Starfort, let's have a little look-see. These shapes look familiar to the untrained eye, it appears no Ford. However, I see diamonds. I see evidence. Let's have a little look on the ground, eh? Oh, pay me no mind. Just nosing about, trying to find some of that old, world-famous Italian graffiti. Didn't take long. And voila, there we are. I knew you were in here. I just knew it. You can't hide from me. So see here. There it is. See the little notch? And over here. I mean, it's been pretty much domesticated, as much as a Starfort can be domesticated. But there's no denying that it's still around. Whoa. Though, looks like she's seen better days. Yes, the interiors. These are the kind of alleys you want to walk down at night. And as usual, the old brick covered up in a layer of concrete, just like everywhere that we go. Città di Castello is no different. I think that just means Castle City, doesn't it? Well, Starfort City makes more sense to me. And just what are the Starforts? Well, wouldn't we all like to know? But these little areas are very consistent. They use them to place guns later, but I don't believe that's what they were initially for at all. This looks like it's one last little remaining retaining wall. You know what they say, you can take the Starfort out of the something, and there's the river, or the canal, that runs perfectly right alongside of it, just as we would expect. And the railway, when it intersects the canal here, we have an oval immediately after. Every time. Pretty incredible. And here's your little invader shape. And here's, well, all very, very standard. And what are they doing over here? What a beautiful place. Really beautiful place. We're gonna jump over here to San Piero Assieve, however. And right here, would you just look at that, right on the friggin' hilltop. Just like that. You gotta stuff it. Shazam. This one looking like it's been much smaller. We'll just have to do this. This one looking like it's being remodeled. See the trenches here all along it? Up on this here hill. That's another part of it over here. And here. Now the whole thing. And the river must be nearby, unless it's all been dammed up. Look at this, main town. Looking suspiciouser than hell. There's your railroad track. I'd be surprised if there wasn't one in here also. But I don't know much about this place. But I suppose I'll save that investigation for another day. This place is a little commune in Florence. It used to be, at least. And this little castle here, or Starfort, it's like a subdivision, basically, of a larger municipality. There's a number of ancient sites around here, as you can imagine. And I suppose it's enough meandering about for the day. Bye.